Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the daily scan for Friday, August 29th, 2014. All right, the numbers yesterday were pretty much on the slightly positive side. GDP was up higher than expectations. Jobless claims was lower than expectations, and the pending home sales index was a tad higher than expectations. I don't know how that's a good thing for the pending home sales, but that's what they said. And that's the only ones that I looked at for yesterday. For today, we have personal income and outlays, Chicago PMI, and consumer sentiment, all before 10 a.m. this morning. All right, let's take a look at what's going on across the ponds. In Asia, we are mixed, or they are mixed, mixed up. In Europe, sort of mixed too, I guess. A couple of indexes showing a slightly bearish and just slightly bullish. It's just pretty flat over there, I guess you might say. Okay, let's take a look at the futures here in the U.S. Looks like as though we may have a positive opening. Gold is down $3.50 overnight, and oil is up 56 cents. It's actually above 95 cents. Hurry up and fill her up for the weekend, folks. Of course, if you're going to be doing a lot of traveling, you're going to have to pay what you have to pay. Okay, yesterday, nothing really looked good for what we were looking for. We were looking at Costco and Apple to give us a hook. At least when I looked, they weren't there, so we'll take a look as we go through the A+. But I did place a bet on the SPX here, and we'll look at that when we get to it as well. All right, start off with Apple. Oops, it's getting sync here. Okay, Apple didn't quite get down here to give us a hook. We were thinking about a 20 delta, but was a tad bit concerned about the lack of confirmation on the MACD down here, so I stayed out of it. Didn't give me that warm and fuzzy feeling when I took a look at it. All right, Amazon. No candidate there. We were in this trade. We exited for this week with a tidy profit. And now we're headed towards another possible entry over here in the near future. So we can get rid of this. And we can leave it up there for a while. Especially, trades that work out, I like to leave them on the charts. Trades that don't work out, I like to get rid of them. Okay, Baidu, I think that's just human nature. Baidu fell out of its channel. Well, how about that? That was kind of a surprise for Baidu. So now what's going on with them? I don't know. Not real interested in a trade right now, especially a directional. We have a PPS down, pretty much ahead of our 20 EMA here, but the 50 is still like a little rocket ship here, but I don't pay much attention to the 50 anymore, do I? Just for maybe a confirmation, especially over here on the weekly. That's way too slow over here. Oh, we have another one here I should get rid of. So not interested in anything on Baidu at this point. Needs to show me something. I'm not sure what. Chipotle needs to show me something too, and I'm not sure what there either. Definitely got a lot of side action. This is an interesting day here. Let's see if we can get back to on the daily. Yeah, here it is. A huge gap up. Must have been some news overnight, and then a big pullback. Wow, that's I guess I did notice it, but I just didn't flag it out as being highly unusual, and it is pretty unusual, especially for Chipotle. So we're in a consolidation phase there and not interested in doing anything. Okay, so here we have Costco is finally in a setup. Well, it wasn't a setup yesterday, but we didn't get confirmation. So we're going to both them and Apple. Let's go back and take a look at Apple one last time here. No, that's a 20. So once these get old, a little long in the tooth, not interested anymore. So go back to Costco. Yeah, give it another day to give me a confirmation, and we might do something next week if we get it later today. I'm just not real sure about that. So you'll notice after my 2 disastrous weeks earlier this month that I'm very, very cautious and back to my rules and sticking to them. And it's just, I mean, there's really nothing out there right now, so we just have to be patient and not just trade for the sake of trading. So we'll wait another day on Costco. Let's take a look at the Dow just for fun. We're going to trade this puppy. And we don't trade it because it's pretty thinly traded. So the Dow reached a new high here, at least DJX did, and then looks like as though we have a little bit of a point of resistance up here, and we can see it here on the weekly. Can we call this a double top? I would call it a double top, depending on what today looks like, and today doesn't look like it's really going to do much of anything. So if we get a pullback, then we have a double top, and then you might say, at least as far as the Dow is concerned, if we get like another week down next week, that's a pretty good indicator that we have a double top formed here, and we may have a rather large pullback. Correction, whatever you want to call it. I'm not real particular about it. Move down. Yeah, it's a move down. Let's widen this out just a tad more. All right. Let's take a look at this. This looks like a shotgun target to me. It's just there's splatters all over the place here. We do have an up arrow on PPS on gold, but today it's probably going to pull back. So, not seeing anything that looks like it's fun to trade there. And Google playing around in its channel here. Okay, so maybe, a 20 delta here might be in order. But with Monday being a holiday, holding over a 3-day weekend, I'm not real excited about that. So I'm going to be very choosy about any trades I do today. LinkedIn. So I'm not even going to record Google at this point. Well, I might put them in there for a 20 delta. Oops, sorry. All right, I believe we left off on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, we are moving nicely down into our target area, but not quite ready for a setup, and I'm kind of happy about that. Hopefully it'll be in setup mode on Tuesday. Remember, the market is closed on Monday in the U.S., so maybe this will be in a setup mode on Tuesday, provided we get at least a flat day here, or very little movement in either direction. All right, okay. And we'll go take a look at NDX. Okay, we're waiting for it to move down into our target area here for a 20 delta. Netflix, Ooh, Netflix is setting up nicely. We have a setup on Netflix. Now, if it should happen to hook today, there's no reason why you could not wait until Tuesday. If you're like me and you're a little hesitant about holding over a 3-day weekend, especially a 50 delta, and I probably would also wait until Monday on this particular one, unless it just looks really, really tempting. Let's say it just takes off today. So I might consider that. But caution is the word for the market lately. Priceline. Okay, Priceline, I'm pretty sure we have a rollover on the 20 here. So we're headed down on the 20, and the price is actually down at the 50. That's not a real good sign. So wait is the word on Priceline. All right, the Russell 2000. We are in setup mode on the Russell. We could do a 20 delta there. So we will be taking a look at that. I don't have a problem holding a 20 delta over the weekend. Entering it today and holding it over the weekend. I don't have a problem with that. All right, let's take a look at the SPX. So I made my bet. I bet on this 2000 level. Remember I mentioned it yesterday that it's a psychological barrier? Well, I'm making a bet. I'm betting $2.90 because what I did here, did not do a credit spread. I did a debit spread, a call debit spread. Just to shake things up a little bit. But basically what it is let's take a look here on the Analyze tab. Basically what you do, and a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with a debit spread, which is basically the same thing as a credit spread. But normally if I'm bullish, I would do a put credit spread where I would buy near the money or sell near the money and buy the further out of the money. But here on a credit spread, if you're bullish, you do a call and you make it a debit spread. And it's pretty much the opposite. So you buy the further out of, or sell further out of the money and buy nearer the money. It pretty much ends up being the same difference, but I wanted calls. And the reason is, when I came over here and I took a look at this, and I looked at the open interest, and it was astronomical at this 2000 level, and I thought that that was reason enough for that 134,000 contracts are open on this right now. I thought that that was pretty stunning. So I like that, and can't adjust these columns. Sorry about that. Here's what I can do though. I can let's see. I used to be able to. I can't remember how to close this thing over here. Yeah, I won't worry about that for right now. But anyway, that's the way it is. So on the risk profile, I'm risking $2.90 to make $2.10. So I'm betting that by September expiration we're going to be above 2,000. So if we looked at this from a chart perspective, and if let's say we took a look at the futures right now, the futures are at just right at 2,025 cents. So how does the ES track against the SPX? Well, in theory it should track exactly, but it doesn't. And here's the reason why. Let's take a look at this. All right, I have a style here that's called, let's see, no study. All right, so I have some gibberish on here with moving averages, which could be considered studies. So I can take a lot of these off. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go here and take some of these off. I'm going to take this one off. This one, I'll just take them all off. And I'm going to take these off. Okay, now I truly have no study. Now I'm going to go over here. I want to put my new EMA on here. Come on. You're not going to let me? There we go. Alright, so I have the new EMA on there. Let's just say okay. Alright, so this truly is no study. So now I am going to say save this style. I'm going to resave it. I guess I can include the study set. And I don't have a no study. I have a no study set. Okay, so here's the SPX. Now let's compare that. So we go up here to studies, and we want to add a study. Oops, let's say compare with. We don't have /ES up here, so we're going to add it here, /ES. Oops, can't type. Alright, so in purple here, as a line, is the ES. So it doesn't track exactly, and the reason why we're looking at the open and close of the ES versus the open and close of the SPX. The ES, I believe, closes at 5:30 and opens again at 6. So we're actually looking at this line drawing is based on the close. So the close is at 5:30, which means that there's a little bit of trading after. So for instance, on this particular day here, 7:31, the SPX closed down here about 1925, but there was like another hour and a half of trading on the futures, so it actually closed a little bit lower. Okay, so we're tracking pretty much good enough with the ES. So if we look at the ES in the morning here, we get a pretty good idea of almost exactly where the SPX is going to open. Just wanted to illustrate that for you. Okay, so we can delete the study and take it off of there. Alright, so I thought you might be interested in looking at that. So now we're back. We'll go back to the SPX, or try to anyway. And we're making this bet. Let's zoom out. That we're going to be above 2,000, somewhere near expiration on the third Thursday for SPX of September. So the way that I figure it, we're either going to break through here and maybe continue up. Let's just zoom in one more. Maybe continue up a tad. Let me draw here. Screen draw. There we go. So break through, move up, come back down, retest, and then head back up again for a new bull market. That's what could happen. Or we could just continue to move along here and do nothing. Or we could move along, come down, hit it again, give us a double top, and then have a correction. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen there. It's just a game, but we like to use momentum. And momentum is the name of the game for our trading method. Alright, let's zoom on to Tesla. Moving on. Okay, Tesla, looking for a target here so we can move this one over. Tesla's the new darling, I guess you might say, of the trading world. They think Elon Musk is the new Steve Jobs, so we'll see. But it's doing pretty fine right now. We certainly like to trade it. And last but not least, for this Friday before the holiday weekend, we have Visa. We have a target set down here for Visa, but we have a down arrow on PPS. That's probably not making things look real exciting right now, but we'll have to let this one work its way out a little bit more. I have to be careful with Visa because I'm not real excited about trading this based on, the strike spreads and whatever. So I just have to be careful on Visa. All right, so that's it for today. Remember, market closed on Monday in the U.S. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks again for watching, and happy trading.